The jungle moon of Ziravex pulsed with life, its canopy aglow with bioluminescent vines, predator insects chirping with unnatural rhythm, and the ever-present scent of ozone and danger. The terrain was treacherous, the atmosphere barely breathable for humans, and the local fauna evolved to hunt anything that dared move. Major Dane Halvorsen moved through it like he belonged, clad in adaptive armor and guided by a flickering wrist beacon. He pressed forward toward the last known signal from Ambassador Nguyen's shuttle. The diplomat's craft had crashed 3 hours ago in disputed territory claimed by the Ulari Empire, a race infamous for their cruelty and disdain for weaker species. Human-Ulari relations were already strained, and any delay in retrieving the ambassador would send the wrong message to the Intergalactic Council. And then he heard it, voices. They weren't speaking Galactic Common, but the snarling, almost serpentine clicks of Ulari tongue. Dane crept closer, parting thick purple fronds to spot a clearing. There she stood, tall, sinuous, armored in silver-black plates that shimmered with a chitinous sheen. Her eyes were slits of gold, and in one clawed hand, she held a plasma blade inches from Ambassador Nguyen's throat. General Tizera, leader of the Ulari 5th Legion, a war hero among her kind, a butcher among humans. I demand justice for your trespass, Tizera hissed. Another step, and I'll slit this soft one's throat. She noticed him a moment too late. Dane stepped fully into the clearing, weapon lowered but gaze unflinching. You'll die in seconds, human, she snarled, tail lashing behind her. But you took the step anyway. I did, Dane replied, voice steady. Now what? Middle. General Tizera tilted her head. Curiosity flickered in those reptilian eyes. No fear sent. No trembling. Just calm resolve. Humans were unpredictable, but this one was dangerous. She could feel it. This one is important to you, she asked, gesturing with her blade toward Nguyen. He's an ambassador, Dane replied. We don't leave our people behind. And you think courage will protect you? Tizera smirked, lowering the blade but not letting the ambassador go. You're flesh and fluid. I could rip you in half before you raise that toy. Dane gave a half shrug. You could try. The tension between them crackled like storm energy. The surrounding Ulari warriors, previously cloaked, revealed themselves. Half a dozen, armor glinting, weapons ready. Still Dane didn't flinch. Tizera stepped forward. You're alone, human. Even your best warriors fear stepping into our jungles. Yet you come knowing it means death. I came because one man's life matters. Even if it costs me mine. The Ulari soldiers murmured. Tizera silenced them with a hand. This is the species that dragged itself from stone to stars in 2 centuries. The ones who bombed their own skies and survived, she said, more to her own kind than to him. You fight like you have something to prove. We do, Dane said. That we're not afraid of monsters. Even the pretty ones. There was a flicker, a brief twitch of amusement in her expression. Then it hardened again. Words are wind. Then let's make it physical, Dane replied. He tossed aside his rifle. Trial by strength. 1-on-1. If I win, you release him. If I lose, do whatever you want. You challenge me. Tizera stepped closer, her breath hot with phenomenal spice. I am General Tizera, slayer of the Kreen brood. Are you even a soldier? I'm human special tactics, he said. And I've killed bigger things than you. Silence fell. One of the Ulari soldiers hissed. Let us kill him, General. He is mocking. Enough, Tizera barked. The challenge is accepted. A makeshift ring was formed. The ambassador was pulled back, still held but not harmed. Dane removed the last of his gear, revealing old scars, muscle hardened by war, and calm eyes that stared death in the face like an old friend. Tizera circled him like a predator. "You will beg for mercy before the end." "I doubt it," he said and lunged. The first clash was brutal, Dane's speed surprising, his movements honed for adaptability. Tizera was stronger, faster in bursts, her claws flashing like razors. But Dane didn't fight fair. He fought human. Feints, distractions, a sudden handful of sand. He took hits but gave worse. A solid elbow to her jaw made her stumble. A knee to her ribs drew a hiss of pain. For the first time in years, Tizera bled. She grinned. Interesting. The battle lasted minutes, but each moment stretched like eternity. Finally, Dane flipped her over his shoulder and slammed her into the earth with a thunderous crash. He knelt over her, hand on her throat, but didn't press. "I could kill you," he whispered. "But you won't," she rasped. "No," he said, "because mercy's not weakness." He stood and stepped back, offering a hand. The surrounding Ulari bristled, but Tizera reached up and clasped his wrist. "I yield," she said, voice low. The warriors looked to each other in disbelief. The general had never yielded. Ending. Gwyn was released, shaken but unharmed. Dane retrieved his gear, still watching Tizera cautiously. She sat in the dirt, head tilted, expression unreadable. "You've proven something human," she said quietly. "That your kind possesses something beyond strength." "Resolve," Dane said. "It's what keeps us alive." Tizera rose and walked beside him as they moved through the jungle, Ulari scouts silently following. "You could have humiliated me. Instead you offered respect. Why? Because diplomacy doesn't start at the table. It starts in how we treat each other when we have the advantage." She nodded slowly. "If only the rest of your kind thought like you." "They will," he said. "One day." At the edge of the jungle, Dane paused. "Why did you take him?" "The ambassador." Tizera's eyes narrowed. "Because he trespassed. And because I wanted to see how your species would respond. I wondered if the stories were true. And now I know. You are reckless, foolish, soft in many ways." She glanced at him. "But not weak." He gave a half smile. "Good enough for you. Good enough to fight beside. One day." He didn't answer, just held her gaze for a long beat. Then the human transport arrived, breaking the moment with roaring engines and flashing lights. As they lifted off, Dane looked down at the clearing. Tizera stood there, watching the ship disappear into the clouds, and she smiled. Months later, the Intergalactic Council met in a historic summit. The Ulari Empire sent a delegation for the first time. At the center was General Tizera, and beside her, a human in dress uniform, Major Dane Halvorsen. Reporters swarmed. Photographs snapped. Speculation swirled. But when asked what had changed her mind, Tizera simply said, "One human stepped forward when he should have run. That told me more about Earth than any treaty." And then she added, almost wistfully, "Fearlessness is contagious."